Good afternoon. This is a committee of the CEO search process and protocols, and I'm going to ask Pam to do the roll call.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Here.
Commissioner Wellens?
Here.
Okay. Commissioner Williams, did you get a chance to review the minutes from the April on the search committee, 28th?
I did read them.
Okay, so I hear a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, it's set. So it's just two of us, so motion carries. The committee is just two of us until we get more people here. Anyway, all right, very briefly, I want to get this done very quickly. As you recall, in April, we had a meeting and the board asked us to do the, move forward with the search for a CEO because things are sort of frozen in time and we have to revive it. You know the whole story. Anyway, so we wanted to, when we discussed this, that we didn't want, we want to make sure that, and I think that this is something that you brought in, Commissioner Wellens, that there weren't any involvement from the staff, and then we move forward to put the bid out, okay? And we hire a company that to do the bidding and so forth, okay? They receive a very large amount of resumes. Some of these resumes were people that would apply to get any jobs anywhere and just sit behind the website, but we were fortunate enough that we have about 10 good candidates out of the mix, and they're ready to be forwarded to us. Now, I like to move forward with that process because what happened here is that we had the summer month and everybody was all over the place, okay? And because everybody was out, we couldn't get together and do this. But here's what I'm recommending, okay? To have, I do not know who's in there. I don't want to know until everybody gets this thing. What I like to do is have very soon have them send the 10 resumes, and I want to give you a little bit of the experience that I got when in the last process. What we did is we actually had like six candidates out of there were 10 or 11, 12 at the time. I like to do is that every one of us, that all these resumes go to every one of the commissioners, okay? Then you gotta have two, I like to bring in at least 6, okay? But I wanna make sure that we get the top 6 and have 2, like the last time the process was, you have 2 votes, you get in on the pool, okay?
Okay.
And I'm just throwing it out there. We did not go into the scoring thing because of the sensitivity for the candidates. Because everything we write about somebody, it stays in there for the rest of their life. And we wanted to have the sensitivity, and we have our own internal process with our direct reports of reviewing our direct reports every 6 months anyway, or whatever. So what we wanted to do is read the resumes and find out which ones are the 6 candidates that we want to bring in to interview. The most professional, perhaps, the most credentials, this kind of thing, all right? With that in mind, then we would move to an interview and at a different day to those that we have chosen. And from there on, we probably eliminated them down to 2 or 3, and we take it from there.
Okay. So let me just take a step back because we have how many candidates? Do we know how many candidates went through, started? How many resumes did we get? How many passed the qualification requirement? And then what do we end up with? We had, do we know, I mean, approximately? The pool, the size of the initial pool versus the sort of top 10, is that what we're talking about?
So you had hundreds
Okay.
that applied, and a supermajority had no healthcare experience. So those were eliminated. Then there were about 20 or so, that maybe more, that went through sort of the initial process as described by the board and matched to the qualifications and the preference, military, et cetera. And right now, the vetting company has indicated there are 9 that they feel meet the criteria that the board has set, and as well as the criteria from what Dion Wong had posted.
And all 9 of these have passed the background check, I
Yes.
presume? But they've done no behavioral study, nothing, just
No.
just the qualifications, the background check. So that out of those 9 that were eventually going to get their resumes,
And a reference check, and an initial maybe 10-minute interview just to say, tell us a little bit more about you.
okay, and all of them have agreed to move forward
Yes.
with the process as we laid it out, and they're aware, and this is just a point of clarification, as I want it part of the record. So those 9 are aware, and that now, once those resumes get forwarded to this board, they will then become a public document, and no one is backed away from that at this point. So there we have
That's my
9
understanding.
solid candidates.
Correct.
So is it my understanding, Chair, that each of the commissioners will get all 9 resumes?
Correct. That's the way that we did it before.
Okay.
I think that is the proper way to do it.
I think it's absolutely, this is a small group, it's 5 of us.
Yes.
I think we all have various backgrounds and various experiences, and I think each of us brings a little different experience
We all
level
do.
or skill set to the table, whether it be legal, financial, business. We all have different backgrounds, so I think that's helpful. So then we're going to rank the 9 candidates internally, each of us, and you want us to come up with a,
What we did the last time was, okay, I have Peter and Joe. I'm just using names.
correct,
Please don't associate that with anything else. Or Mary and Rebecca, okay?
Uh-huh.
And when we did this on Dr. Olsenati, some people had 2 candidates. Some people say, I just want to stick with Dr. Olsenati, and some people wanted to get 3 candidates, but were told, no, you got to 2. So everybody's on the same plane.
okay. I just wonder if we, with 5 of us and 2 picks, we have 10. We'll have 10 choices. Will we have enough of the 10 choices to narrow that down? Or should we each select our top 5 out of the 9 and then calculate and just do them in a blank name, candidate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 without associated name, and only ones that'll know who it is. And then we come to a top 5 or 6 based on 25 choices, 1 through 5, whoever ranks the top 5 ranking. I don't know, I'm just wondering if we just do 2, would we get enough of a sample?
I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem. I was just throwing some things around that we could think about.
Because I think it'd be unfortunate if we had somebody in the, if we're such a small group, picking 2, sometimes just reading a resume or may not give us enough. I'm just wondering if we should rank them 1 to 5. And then let's see what the top 5 or 6 vote getters are out of those 25 votes and see if we get a good sample. I think we might get a better consensus from the board, because we can't discuss it and we can't know who they are yet.
Until we are in a public forum.
Correct. So I'm just wondering if we do that, would that give us a better sample?
That's fine with me. I think that we can, if every one of us can look for the top 5 and then come back to the table and say, these are my top 5. And then when we aggregate it, we can probably discuss it a lot easier.
Does that sound reasonable?
Yes.
And Peter, does that sound reasonable as a way to approach this?
Yes, that
From your-
sounds great. Yes, from my experience, that's fine. I've seen what the board chair has, suggested. That is what they did at the South District, but what you're suggesting will work as well.
I'm just saying if we're trying to get maybe if we're going to bring in the top 5 or 6, I think we just need a bigger sample to make sure we get a consensus. Because I think what I might look for may be very different than what, Commissioner Uri might find appropriate on a resume, or Commissioner Robeson or Commissioner Klein may have a personal preference as to what the skill set they're looking for. I think it'll give us a better sample. And so our time frame to get the resumes would be a couple of weeks from now?
Say a week,
Okay, and so then
week or two.
a week or 2 to get them. So let's say 2 weeks. Let's be somewhat consistent, because I know that in October is going to be a challenge.
Right.
Because I know, but let's say we get them in 2 weeks, and the intention is within 2 weeks from that date have a meeting.
Yes,
And at that point, we will be able to consolidate the tabs and have ours, and then maybe in November we can schedule those interviews in person, unless we're gonna do them on phone first or in person. And our hope is, once we select a candidate, I'm thinking 30, 45 days to get a contract, get the negotiation terms done, and get somebody reasonably ready to move here by the end of the year or the very beginning of the next year would be my expectation.
I agree with you that I'd rather have one too many than one too few.
Correct.
So that's the way I feel. I think that that we get all the resumes and I don't know, probably will go to you, Ms. Capasso, and then you figure out who's going to distribute it to all of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it probably goes to Peter.
Okay, all right.
And Peter and Bev can make sure that it gets distributed to us.
To all of us, and then we take it from there.
And who will the tabulations go back to? Peter or to Bev?
No, I think we have to probably do them in public.
So we'll come to the meeting with our
list.
with our
A
list.
list of how you want, top, however you want to rank
Yeah.
them, and then discuss it.
Okay, so then maybe you'll just call us by name and we'll give you our list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Pam can keep a record of it. I mean, it's not complicated to calculate this up. You just put a
Right.
check mark, for
Well, if you let Commissioner Uri, he want to know the square root.
Well, we'll keep them on. Okay, I think that's a reasonable. I think it's a reasonable way to do it. So let's try to get this in. And I don't want to step on your toes as the chair, but
No.
I would like to get the resumes within 2 weeks, and I would like to have that meeting within 2 weeks of that day, because once those resumes hit here, that information goes public, and to the benefit of those candidates and for the confidentiality of those candidates, I think we owe them an opportunity to move as quickly as we can
Right.
to get them here, because they're out on a limb once their name goes public that they're out looking for a job, and I think it's only fair of us to respect that and move pretty quickly to get them set up a resume for
And the
interviews.
other thing that I was thinking is no sense in dragging somebody here from, and I'm just, again, hypothetically using a place, Alaska, and to find out that, hey, you didn't make the cut.
Correct. I want complete transparency. I want it to be as fair and open as possible, and I think that's kind of the reason why I laid out this scenario to do this the first day. I think it was my first meeting and the first time any of you met me. It just seemed to me that we want to do this in the most transparent way we can, but also protect the confidentiality of the candidates. It's not about us, it's about their confidentiality. I think we've been able to do that, and I think from what I believe, if we got a big pool, it means we got a good sample. And I think the resumes probably came in from all over the country, and we don't know. But I think maybe this process was a way to do it that give us the best chance of getting the right person.
Okay, so we're all in agreement with that?
Well, it's just you and I.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in agreement.
Okay, so you want to make the motion?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I want to make a motion that we notify the consultant to prepare the list of final candidates, deliver them to Broward Health, and for distribution to the commissioners for the purpose of analyzing and selecting a final list to interview.
Who's second, so the motion carries, okay? We're adjourned.
Yep.
We got all the toys, all the nuts and bolts. Let's
Do
go
you,
to,
do you need anything else from us in terms of the process here?
I think you laid it out, right?
let's just do what we said we're
Right.
gonna do.
And I guess at the board meeting, we can set the,
Yeah,
do we need to set it here or at the board meeting?
Whatever you want, you control the process.
Yeah.
If you want to wait and see how different commissioners' schedules are, then you can ask Pam.
well, why don't you figure out, oh, hi, how are you? Would you round up these troops and go ahead and make sure that somebody is going to be able to, because we want everybody here, so it may be better if we do it before the board meeting or we do it after the board meeting.
So we're talking about before or after the October board meeting?
Or if we can do it in 2 weeks, I'd rather have it in 2 weeks.
No, I can't do it in 2 weeks.
No.
In a month. Because it's 2 weeks to get the resumes.
Okay, 2
And
weeks
then,
to
and then
for
2
us
weeks to
review.
analyze them.
Okay,
And so what I'm thinking is the end of October,
okay,
sometime around Halloween-ish. If we have another meeting that we need to do,
Okay.
let's try to see if we can do them back to back.
right.
I know that, you know, the summer travel schedules will get a little clearer, and I think most people are done traveling. I know that I'll be back. I presume Commissioner Yuri's going to be back from North Carolina at that time frame. Commissioner Klein is new to the board, so we'll find out from him. But I think we could probably get something at the end of October. And if we need to hold any other meeting, let's just try to do them at the same time and get it done. But I'd like to hold this meeting before November 1st if we can.
Yes, definitely.
Because I really want to get these interviews done before Thanksgiving, and I'd like us to be narrowing down that search and have a decision by the beginning of December if we can. If we're lucky to have the candidate in this top 9 that just is absolutely the right person, he or she, I want to get, you know, contract negotiations going, get that person hired, and give our CEO her life back, as we committed to do in a judicious manner. And it's taken a little longer, but
You're not going anywhere.
I
Keep me
know.
around.
but no, I think we committed to the district to do that, and I think it's important that we get that done.
Okay, thanks. So, will you understand that?
Yes.
You need anything else from us?
No, thank you.
So in 2 weeks, the resumes come out to,
Peter?
okay. Hi, Peter.
Hi.
Okay, fine. All right. We're adjourned. You have